All right, simple framework for building accountability with your team. There's a lot of information out there about accountability. Most of it is really complex and hard to remember, right? I mean, you need a freaking 12-hour course just to understand a simple framework for driving accountability with your team. I'm going to give you something that's much more simplistic. It just works. And because it's simple in nature, it's easy to remember, which means you're going to be more likely to use it. And I call it AAA. So AAA is what you need to build accountability with your team. So the first A is awareness, right? Straightforward. If you plan to hold someone accountable for anything, they must first be aware of the fact that they are responsible for some task, responsibility, action, procedure, policy. They got to first be aware of it. Pretty straightforward, right? I don't think anyone would argue against that. The next thing is ability. The person that you intend to hold accountable for some specific action, policy, responsibility, they must have the ability to do what you're asking them to do. I mean, think about it. It's almost immoral to hold someone accountable for something that they never had the ability to do in the first place. It's like, hey, John, I want you to put away the stock from the truck we just received. Put away the truck order. But your refrigerator door, your cooler door is locked. You got a lock on it. John can't get in the cooler door. How is he supposed to put away the items? Or better yet, let's talk about ability. Ability requires two things. It requires knowledge, and it requires three things: knowledge, skill, and resources. Right? Like you need to have access to specific resources. If you ask Tiffany to do something, but you never show Tiffany how to do it, then you can't hold Tiffany accountable for not doing it. It sounds like it's straightforward. It sounds like it's common sense. A lot of people just don't get this. They try to hold people accountable for things that they never showed them how to do. So therefore they don't have the ability to do it. And then we are upset when you can't hold them accountable, because accountability requires people have to accept accountability. They don't have to accept responsibility per se, because if someone does something wrong and you have legal grounds to do so, you can hold them responsible and terminate them. You can say, hey, failure to comply, failure to do your job, and then you can rid yourself with them. Responsibility, I can hold you responsible for this and get you out of here, right? But accountability is not about issuing consequence. Accountability is about the person answering for what they did. And people have to choose to answer for what they've done. And what you find is that employees will not answer for things that, number one, they weren't aware of the fact that they were responsible, they were being irresponsible or being held accountable for doing it. Number two, that they never acknowledged that they had the ability, knowledge, skills, resources. They never acknowledged that. It's like, hey, I never even been trained on that. So you can't hold me accountable for it. So the next thing is ability. But then the last thing is agreement. And this is the part that's probably most controversial, right? Someone says, well, you accepted the job, you agree to do it. Wrong, right? That's the reason why we have early terminations for people that come on jobs. They were never told explicitly about the things that the job was going to entail. And then when you try to hold them accountable for not doing it, they refuse to be held accountable for not doing it, and it just leads to a termination or leads to them walking out or what have you, and that usually has to do with agreement. So are they aware of what they're responsible for? Have they acknowledged that they have the ability to do it? And do they agree to do it? If you can get all three of these things, you can have accountability conversations with employees. That's something I had to learn very early in my career. No one gave me a framework. I was just figuring it out. And then the things that people did give was overly complex, super hard to remember. But when you just think about human behavior is number one, do I know what I'm supposed to do? 2, can I do it? 3, do I even agree to do it? If I can get all three of these, bingo. Now you have accountability.